We painted the entire outside of the building at Gerard.
Yeah.
And it just, that trolley it's iconic. They used to call it the pickle. If you're a Fairmounter, you know what the pickle is. It's a trolley. So because it's green with the cream and the red, it's a really cool looking vehicle. And it was funny when we were picking out the colors. We had to. The painter was like, "I need the colors like Tuesday," and I was down the shore, and I went to the paint store in outside of Cape May, and just from memory, I looked up I'm like, yeah, it's that color green, that color cream, I'm like Jersey cream. All right, that's the yellow, and I think Aruga looks like the right green, and we just went with it. And it's funny, there's a chiropractor across the street. When I was up on the ladder a couple weeks ago, he said, "Hey, I'm the chiropractor from Brewery Town Chiropractor. I have a question. I was looking out my office window, and the trolley came by, and it hit me. Oh, that's like the same. So my question is,"
nailed it.
I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like,
Welcome back to the Brewed Out Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Tevlin, joined as always by Evan Blum.
"Hello."
And some, I guess, housekeeping before we get started. Subscribe on YouTube, please. We just say in the end, but we need people to start subscribing on YouTube. But tonight we have on the third member of Human Robot, Chris Roller. So we've had Jake and Ken on.
Yeah.
So we've learned all about Human Robot, but everyone talks about you, and I don't know a single thing about you. So thank you for coming in last minute and kind of filling in. But I'm excited to get you in here. It's like I honestly have never met you before, and feels kind of weird. But like you're so involved with everything. Like I always assumed that you were just like the silent partner, but
yeah, no, I was there from day one. In fact, I was the only one who had actually worked at a brewery, even though it was short time. Jake had a brand he had done with
the Futurist.
Futurist, and I was working at Imprint and at Breweries for help packaging and stuff too there for the whole summer before we finally started ramping up the robot. So
in preparation, like were you doing that knowing that you were?
Yeah. I went to Siebel in Chicago and did their immersive program, and then while I was there, I got the job at Imprint. So when I came back, I started like 2 weeks later. That was like May. So I had like a solid 5 months working in a brewery before we started opening.
That's more than a lot of people.
It was better than nothing,
Yeah.
Because it all came together so quickly. Human Robot did by chance. So, and I'm blessed that it did. It really, we all, the three of us, kind of got lucky together.
Yeah, like finding a partner in business is like very difficult, and it seems like you guys. I mean, I don't know your internal dialogue, but it seems like everything has worked out very smoothly.
I had never met Jake before. I was Kenny's banker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that how like you guys knew him?
Yeah. So I knew Ken. I knew him a little bit. I knew his brother a little bit, but I knew Ken a little bit from Memphis Taprooms.
That's what I thought. Okay, I remember Ken telling us something along those lines.
But I really got to know him from helping him with different things, going on with Memphis Taproom. I was in Fishtown at the bank.
Yeah.
And I had been talking with my wife. I used to homebrew for years in the 90s. And my wife was like, "So what do you want to do?" And, after many conversations, we decided, all right, look, I'm going to try to figure out a way to do this. And it's interesting because one of the big influences on me was Crime and Punishment, and we just took that space over. So it's kind of full circle. That's the first place Jake and I actually met. So that it's kind of.
I mean, before Human Robot, there was really a lack of small breweries in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I mean with St. Ben's going out, like that was it was, that was the catalyst for us because. I told Ken in my office, "Hey, I'm going to be leaving soon, so you keep your stuff in order until the next guy comes, and you can forge a relationship with him."
Yeah.
And he was like, "What's going on?" And I told him, "Hey, I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to at Siebel, do that whole thing, and then come back and try to figure out, a brewery. And at that point, I'd even like set up a little, EIN for Dobre Pivo, which means good beer in Polish.
Yeah.
And Kenny was like, "Well, close my door. I got something going on too." So he told me the whole idea, and he said, "Let's keep talking." So that was May, and then that August, I was actually in Poland, and I was walking past a bar that we go to all the time, and my phone hooked up to the Wi-Fi in there because I had my roaming off, and I got some goofy messages from my buddies, and then a missed call and a voicemail from Ken, and it was like, "Hey, not sure if you're still interested, but Jake and I are moving forward with this. We had another guy, but I don't know if it's going to work out, so wanted to talk to you about it." And so I texted him back, and then it was funny because when I came back from Poland, Kenny was in Spain. So he's like, "Maybe this is a better thing because I won't be there when you and Jake meet, and you guys can figure it out."
Force the subject.
Yeah, so Jake was like, "Where do you want to meet?" And I'm like, "How about like Crime and Punishment? Because it's close to my house." And he's like, "Yeah, I can be there." So that was the first actual meeting on what we were going to do. If we opened a brewery, what would we focus on? And so it was really great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you starting off your time at Imprint, that was kind of like the heyday of Imprint. There was like was that the smoothie days?
I used to make the smoogies. I did. We make a smoogie light at Human Robot that we call Splash.
Yeah, I expect when you guys first started, it was like the hazy IPAs and the splashes, and
Yeah,
I thought that was
funded our lager program. Particularly since we opened 5 weeks before COVID. We were just filling crowlers of Splash and some IPA and some lager, of course, but that kind of got us through COVID.
And when so Andrew was a part of it from the beginning. Like I guess you were the only one with brewing experience. Were you brewing? Are you involved in the production still?
So what happened was Jake and I were in there, and I was up on the brew deck, and he's like, "Can you brew on this thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but
we can make beer.
It's gonna take a couple minutes to figure out."
Yeah.
And he said, "Should we talk to Andrew, who used to be the brewer for St. Ben's?" So we met. We made a set of meeting with Andrew, and we talked, and we decided that would be the best way to move forward. He was familiar with the system. He was confident in his lager game. Did not want to make it IPA, but it's coming from Imprint,
Yeah.
and ours too. I said, "Look, we'll make IPA. I'll have to push you a little bit on it," because Andrew was like 3 pounds per barrel. No way. And now I'll dump 4.5 in if he has to, or 5. But yeah, that's so Andrew came aboard, and it was good because he knew the brewery. He knew things that needed to be changed. We needed a new chiller. And he knew like what we really needed to do to get that place up and running. So that was
skipped over like the lag phase of like you guys figuring out.
Yeah. We just got right to it, and that. So you figure that was like, I think we took the lease over mid-September, and we got open by February.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah, so it was 3 months, waiting for TTB and PLCB always takes a little bit too.
And what was the plan from the beginning you guys have now opened up 2 tap rooms in the last, 30 days?
Yeah, 8 days apart.
That's crazy. And the plan from the beginning was no distribution, or just because COVID kind of forced that subject, and then...
Yeah, that was always... So my vision was always take what other half did and shrink it, rather than try to have a brewery, in 5 different cities.
Yeah.
Let's just have 5 different tap rooms in neighborhoods we thought would appreciate it and could sustain it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure about, the original location, obviously 5th Street, but they were building crazy down there, and they still are. So that's been great. But it was always an idea, what can we do to have a tap room in different neighborhoods that we could get beer to, and they could, support themselves.
Yeah.
So far, that's knock on wood, that's worked.
Yeah. So, like your day to day is like, are you kind of like, you were a banker before this. Are you involved in the production at all? Is that any kind of?
So we make so many beers over and over again that we now have in the brewery. It used to be just Andrew and I, and now it's we have 3 brewers, a delivery guy, and a fix-it, a guy capable of welding. He's new. So it went from making the stouts and the fruited sours and cleaning kegs and helping Andrew every day, to doing deliveries and fixing things, to fixing things. So now my thing is basically I look at the email every night and figure out what needs to be fixed and what I'm going to do. And even now with our latest edition, Corey, he's been fixing a lot of stuff. So I'm just running around making sure everything is going.
Keeping it all together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's it like? Is it you guys have now 5 tap rooms open now?
Yeah.
And
two breweries. Each of those have tap rooms, and then 3 more.
Cool. Are you guys going to slow down anytime soon, or like?
Well, we kind of have to because of the licensing. We have all our licenses are used.
Oh, because you have 2, I guess, for each Jenkintown and okay.
So, the only thing what we really need to do. We do need more production capability. We're always running, close to help.
Yeah.
Frankly, we need more tank space, which is a good problem to have.
Definitely.
Particularly when we sell all
on premise.
98% of our beer over our through our own tap rooms.
Yeah.
So it's a great problem to have, but it is something we're constantly trying to wrestle with and figure out.
What were there specific issues that you guys had to deal with? I mean, were you guys kind of aiming at crime and punishment, or was that just an opportunity? Because you guys have moved into some places that all used to be like you took over the spot in South Philly.
Yeah,
used to be
Hatfield.
Separatist. Yep. And then in New Hope, that used to be a brewery also. Are you guys just kind of looking at?
Yeah, well, the issue with Great Barn, that was the outlier just because that needed a total build-out because that had been decimated in a fire. So we actually built out that whole thing.
Wow.
It was a shell when we got it. It wasn't even drywalled. So they were in the process of doing that. So we had to do everything there. The other spots, it's easier, obviously, when you can jump in and you don't have to build a bar and put in draft lines and all that kind of stuff. So that seems to be something that works for us. Even Jenkintown, it's funny, when I was a banker, I worked in Abington. I actually worked on the original loan for Guildhouse Brewing in Jenkintown.
Before it
became Neshaminy Creek, and then we bought it. So it's been,
you've been seeing like the inner workings of these businesses.
Crime and punishment, and we bought that building, but we also built a building. We bought the building that I had worked on alone for, 10 years prior. So that's also another like full circle kind of whirlwind thing. Yeah.
Is that like when you were doing banking, it was like small business loans and stuff because you were working with a lot of the breweries?
Yeah, and when I came on with that bank, my buddy had hired me because I was working in another bank. He kind of like convinced me to leave there and come up to Abington. And he's like, "You're a beer guy. Go buy this brewery and get these docks." And so I did. And I talked to them for like, I think it was the week or two before they even opened. Might have been a little bit longer, but so and now
Crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of sometimes you just the world works. Strange way.
So I guess you're heading to McGlinchey's after this.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I guess they're shutting down. But you said you were going there like in between classes, I guess, in college.
Yeah.
So you kind of been involved in. I mean, were you just drinking beer there? Or like, have you been kind of involved in like the Philly beer scene?
So it's funny. I used to write for a small Philly beer
The Nat South
magazine, and I wrote for a magazine in the 90s. I covered a few breweries. I remember my first article, I think, was either Split Dice Skull, the original Split Dice Skull, or Pretzel City when they had just opened out in Red.
What is Split Dice Skull? Is Dune Bar doing something with that?
It's a barley wine festival. It was always a barley wine festival the day before Easter.
Okay.
And they're rehashing it for, I think it's this Sunday.
This Sunday, Meredith's working on it.
Yeah, Meredith's doing it. And it was always just, all these crazy barley wines. This time it seems like it's got some spirits going, some hoppy beer, and we have a barley wine.
Do you guys have a barley wine?
Yeah. I'm a big barley wine guy, so.
Really? I can't stand them.
I love. I just had one from the Seed the other day.
Yeah?
Oh my god, that was fantastic.
Yeah, Amanda does a great job over there.
Do you guys package that, or is that just on draft?
We're going to bottle it.
Bottle
actually.
it?
Yeah, we brewed it. It's probably about 8 months old.
I don't think I've ever seen a bottle from you guys. Is that...
Yeah, we've bottled. One of my
Just
favorite
stouts?
beers, Silt, which is a northern Pils, German Pils. That we used to bottle. We had a guy come in, and we would run bottles in Jenkintown. He would bring the bottler on his truck.
Is it
Never went smoothly, though.
Is it the big bottles, or is it like 12 ounce?
They were 12-ounce
Oh
green
my God,
glass.
I can't imagine.
12-ounce green glass. So sexy. Hello. I miss them. We have a small Maheen bottler in our warehouse that we've run water through it to see how, but to get it rolling, but we just don't have the time to really put an effort into it. But maybe
You got to bring it back to life.
yeah, that's because I actually found some bottles that we did last year in our walk-in, and we cruised those bottles.
Nice.
So I took one down the shore this weekend, and it was fantastic.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. So, we've been talking a lot about Philly Beer Week recently, but were you involved in Philly Beer Week at all?
No,
Because Jake said that he was not a brewer, but he had been involved in kind of the Philly beer scene.
yeah, I would go to all the events.
Yeah.
I had the app on my phone. My wife is a big beer lover,
Yeah.
so we would basically plan our week out when it was Philly Beer Week.
Yeah, start mapping out where you're going.
Oh, this is here, this is there, we got to go over here. So that was always a big. Philly Beer Week was great back in the day, and then it got a little crazy because everybody started bringing their highest alcohol. You'd be trying to go to 3 places, and you're like, I don't want to drink another 12% beer.
Yeah, it's too much. We heard that there was too many tap takeovers in the bars. We got kind of get overrun. It was too much. But
Yeah. It was, and for a while it was great, and then it just started to peter out a little bit.
yeah, but I guess opening up a brewery, is that something that you have always thought? I mean, you were writing about it. And did you just have a midlife crisis? I don't want to say midlife crisis, but
Yeah, you can.
midlife crisis and decide it's just something you wanted to do?
So it's funny. I years ago I had a girlfriend who lived in Maryland.
Yeah.
And her dad was a bush drinker, and I remember coming down to help move her out of her dorm or her house down in Towson, and I brought a case of Stouts Honey Double Maibach, and he looked. I remember him looking at the bottle, and he was like, "What is this?" And then a week later, she's saying, "Well, Dad wants to know if you could bring some of that beer down there." So he got a home brewing kit. I got him into some home brewing. I was doing all grain brewing. He was doing extract.
Nice.
And he's like, "We should open a brewery down here." So that was the first time I had ever thought about opening a brewery, and that was 1996.
Damn.
Yes, 97. So, but that didn't work out. So I didn't open a brewery.
But all these years later, you figured it out?
Yeah.
So it only took 25 years, however it was.
So this is the first brewery that you guys are doing, I guess, in Bucks County, right? Like Jenkintown's Monco.
Jenkintown's Monco.
Okay.
And Jenkintown's interesting because we have the fire chief lives directly behind the brewery.
Do not be too loud. Do not get crowded.
So, and it's funny, we put a mash mixer in there so we could do decoctions, and we had it for almost a full year before they would let us install it. So we've had our trials and tribulations with different local governments.
Yeah.
Because if we were in the middle of nowhere, Andrew and I would have cut a hole in the roof, dropped the stack in ourselves, and
Yeah.
it would have been, we have the capabilities to do that, but we couldn't do it there with the head of the head fire chief
Looking
right
out
behind
that
us.
window every day.
Exactly. So it's been interesting. Philly, PA in general is not the easiest place to get things in with the PLCB.
Is it easier being outside the city? Or it doesn't...
It was the
doesn't make a
same
difference?
Now we're doing with New Hope, and their occupancy restrictions are a little crazy.
Has Bradley Cooper come by yet?
They want like 25 people in that place.
Really?
It's crazy.
Why? Is it like it's just like they're trying to keep the town small and nice?
I don't know. That's what they say that it's zoned for, and that's including outdoor seating.
The outdoor seating of that, it is small. I was there when it was Great Barn at a point. I'm from Bucks.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful spot. Like,
Yeah, you're right on that little creek across from the Bucks County Playhouse.
Yeah,
Everybody
25
walks over that bridge.
yeah.
Like 25 people a second walk over that bridge.
Literally, that's
on
the
busy
thing.
days. If they don't want to come in, what do we be like? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's
It's weird that like, they limit the people outside also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they said we can only have 25 seats, and I said, well, Jake and I were thinking, what if we just put some high tops outside, but no chairs? It's not seats. And they didn't seem too keen on that when we mentioned it, but
Just wait a little bit, I guess.
that's the idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the idea.
And I guess Keith Shore is involved with that, right?
Yeah.
So Keith Shore, the old, I guess, creative director at Mikkeller,
Yeah,
is now, I guess I didn't know that he was from this area until last year.
yeah. He was in Fishtown for years. He did a lot of stuff for Memphis Taproom.
Remember that? Oh, really? I guess the stuff on the side, and then now it's like Meeting House. He does kind of
Yeah.
all their artwork.
Yeah,
Great. And I guess was that his brainchild? Because I know him and Jake are really into like the trading cards.
That's where it came from, the trading cards angle. So
and did you guys you guys knew you guys wanted to open a shop in New Hope with him?
no, that just came about. It came on our radar because the rent seemed like a pretty good opportunity, and they were willing to work with us on build out. And so originally we were like, I don't know, it's kind of far because all of our places are easily drivable. Jenkintown's the
Especially if you're not brewing.
Yeah.
You have to.
So running beer up there was always going to be, how are we going to work that in? Is there cold storage on site, which there isn't? So we had to figure that out. But yeah, mostly Keith was like, oh, I have all these cards, and Jake is into that. So this little idea came together with a card shop / tap room. And
It's kind of odd combination, but he's like so talented that he kind of merges both those things together.
yeah, and it looks kind of cool, like the way the glass is built into the side of the bar.
Yeah.
So I think some people have had a good time there, and he even has like Garbage Pail Kids cards and stuff. So I've seen like kids come in and they want the Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a definitely
guess
unique
that
for sure.
Taproom does not have a child restriction.
No child restrictions there. We only 5th Street and a slight restriction at Passyunk.
I was in it was ramp training the other day, and someone was talking about their hometown brewery doesn't allow kids. And they were talking about these farmers. I was like, oh, are you talking about Warwick? And she was just like, well, what do you think about it? I'm like, well, I would hope, I don't want to deal with kids. Like, I want to have families there, obviously. I don't want to restrict anybody, but I imagine that is a huge pain.
Those guys have been through it too, Warwick.
Yeah.
Believe me, we've heard the battles that they've had from kids pulling up, hoses from their septic system.
Oh my God.
It's causing a lot of damage to just, they have a lot of space and kids can wander up there, and it's just not safe if the parents aren't going to watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that like bars don't really have that issue with like kids acting up at bars, but breweries, people think that they can act differently at breweries. They just think that there's more freedom.
Yeah, and you know, that was the and that's like the general mentality of people towards breweries. And one thing I've seen recently is this guy on Instagram. I said, you know why I don't go to breweries? Because my parents dragged me there from the time I was 8 to the time I was 14, and there was nothing for me to do there. I hated it, and so I never want to go to a brewery because I have so many lousy childhood memories of going to breweries.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, well, maybe it's advantageous to not allow kids in the tap room. Yeah. Besides, you know, because of other reasons, safety concerns and things like that.
And a lot of breweries be like, well, we're child friendly. Have an extra large Connect 4 set. Like, when you're a kid, I do care about that. It's like, and kind of showing off.
You know, it kicked off at our original spot, you know, on 5th Street. We were really packed to start, and people would try to come in with double wide strollers, and you couldn't even move in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we had to figure out a way to mitigate people falling over children, kids getting hurt. And then, you know, even like places, South Philly, we get on our Instagram, people are like, you know, hey, I really like coming there, but I don't like coming there with my friends and there's little kids running around all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's hard trying to find the in between where everything.
Yeah, the brewery is kind of the third space. It's kind of like, you know, the pub where it's like go hang out. It's not just like go there and chug shots, but finding that, you know, like you said, the balance between like, you know, this isn't daycare.
Yeah, particularly there, we don't sell food.
Yeah.
So.
Like, why are you bringing them anyway?
Right. You're not going to, what do you bring? We don't have anything there but alcohol. So it's a slippery slope. You know, there's a lot of families in that neighborhood. You want to keep everybody happy. So it's a fine line, constantly walking, trying to figure out how to keep everyone, you know, happy. So.
This episode of the Brewdat podcast is brought to you by Zilka & Co., your trusted regional brewing supply partner. Family owned for over 100 years of business, Zilka Brewing Supply has recently partnered with Breweries to bring you your favorite raw materials at a great price with $5 flat rate shipping. No pallet or liftgate charges, thanks to their own fleet of regularly maintained trucks. With locations in Allentown and Hunker and a technical brewer on staff, they provide the expertise and service your brewery deserves. Reach out to Brad Adelson in the show notes and let him know Brewdat sent you.
What is I guess it might be like so early that you don't really know yet because it's just like you're overflowed with like new guests. But like, what's the energy like in Girard? Is that kind of the same feeling as all your other places? My friends are in the Boozy Mutt right down the street from you guys, and you know they have, you know, it's a great clientele there, but it's kind of like a vacuum. Like there weren't really bars there. So it doesn't have the same.
I used to live around a corner from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when it was the North Star. So I used to go to North Star for happy hour.
Yeah, they still have like all the signage down the basement. But it doesn't have like the culture of like Fishtown does of like the corner bars everywhere.
Yeah, I mean Fairmount did. There were lots of corner bars in Fairmount.
But a little bit further north.
Once you start moving out a little bit towards Girard and Brewerytown, funnily enough, there weren't as many. You had Otto, well, Sarah's place in Otto's now, but the good thing that we're benefiting from there up in Girard is the legacy that CMP left.
Yep.
So that was a place, you know, I went there all the time. I was there every Saturday or Sunday. I would go for brunch when they used to do brunch. I live in Spring Garden, Fairmount area, so it's a 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
So the good thing up there is they have regulars that have come to see us, which is great. They were really excited and supportive whenever I was carrying things in or out up on a ladder. They, you know, when are you guys opening? We're so excited. So that was a great thing to hear, especially when I was locked in there by myself for days at a time, feeling down, feeling like I was overwhelmed and couldn't get the place open. It was great to have those people come by and say, hey, man, we're really excited. So the vibe there, I feel like we've managed to continue what
Yeah, it's nice when
Mike had going.
another brewery moves into brewery space.
Yeah.
But I feel like even with the clientele of like Crime and Punishment, it was probably like a breath of
Fresh air.
breath air.
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
That
with
the
you.
fact that Human Robot was like able to be in that position.
Yeah, and obviously we were friends with Mike. Mike through the years we did collabs with them, and we love and respected everything they did. The beer he turned out of a system in a row home in Brewery Town was remarkable.
Yeah, I don't know how he was doing it. Like the logistics of like bringing grain in there and doing
Up and down, up and down. He ran up and down the steps 50 times a day if he was brewing it.
Yeah.
And he did. Everybody loved Space Race. I actually had Space Race served at my wedding.
No way.
Yeah, I went to those guys and asked if they would do that, and they were they knew Eva, my wife, and myself, and they were like, yeah, we'll give you a sixto for the wedding to take, and but they had some incredible beers. Like everybody knows about Space Race, but the mild game was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, their one Mild Meadow is still one of my favorite miles I've ever had in my life. So he was turning out great beer, So I'm happy. We retained 3 of their bartenders.
Nice.
So we brought our staff over from Schuylkill Banks because that space was moving in a different direction. So we were able to combine them with their staff. So it's almost like, we brought the Brady Bunch together and it's rocking. So it's been great having, first of all, the community up there be so welcoming and excited, but also being able to retain people that they were familiar with, and I was familiar with, so it's been really good up there.
That's cool. And like you guys are kind of getting in, like Brewery Town's, I feel like about to explode. I was there like when the Bougie Mud opened, and it felt like kind of the whole energy of the neighborhood was there about 2837, 2937.
What is that? Yeah, 2637. I think.
We know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
it's.
Yeah.
I think it's the address. I think it's 2637.
yeah, but it feels like that whole street Gerard is like about to take off. So it's nice that you guys are kind of like in there.
Yeah, I mean behind the whole area behind our building was just a field.
Yeah.
Before the area behind the Boozy Mutt.
Yeah, they just put those.
It was like when I moved in there in the mid '90s. It was a lousy supermarket that was like slowly dying.
Yeah.
And finally, it closed. Then they knocked it down. We had the furnace party there.
What's the furnace party?
Furnace party is infamous. It was actually hosted by the Crime Punishment guys, partially, but it's a big. It's a Philly folklore for sure. This crazy letter that went out. You have to Google it, furnace party, because it's really. It's
just like an underground.
It's one of those things when you read it, your brain was like jumping out of your head, saying it does not compute. And then it turned into a party on a Saturday, and it was great. And now there's condos in town, built on that site.
Yeah.
So, which is right behind the Boozy Mutt.
Yeah.
North Star.
So I feel I've not been to Doubles yet, but the Gerard spot is a little bit fancier than the rest of your places.
Well, it's so funny because when we were doing it, Kenny, my partner, was like, all right, well, this is going to be the crappiest of all our places. And I was like, thanks. I wouldn't say it's fancy. I wanted it, like I said, I wanted it to look like my Bapshi's, my grandmother's house, kind of.
Yeah.
Because that's what it reminded me of. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was like 50s, 60s decor that was a little bit dated. So that's kind of like what we're going for there. So I didn't change that much. We didn't change a ton. We did the bar a little bit, but I wanted a little more dark wood in there, and I wanted some like aspect of things that people in 1960 like thought were still cool, even though it was from the 30s.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So
have you been involved in like kind of the design of everything, or like who kind of leads?
Yeah, we go back and forth. When we got past Young, I got in there and I just repainted the whole thing. and you work with what you have without having to spend too much money. Jenkintown, the same thing. Just went in there, repainted the whole thing. I actually cut the bar down. It was the worst bar you could ever sit at in your life. So I cut the entire bar down, rebuilt the bar. We had a guy put a nice top on it, and now it's so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
So all we do is, when we get into a place, we're like, all right, what works for this place, and what can we make better?
Take the bones,
and then what can we make human? Like I always say, we're just this side of shitty. So it seems like
if it's too nice, nobody likes it.
Yeah, that's not really our MO. So it kind of seems to work for us across all of our spaces.
Yeah. So you were saying you and Jimmy Scantron were trying to figure out the wallpaper.
Yeah.
Is he involved kind of the design of that too? Like he's kind of like, graphically beyond just the cans?
He'll we'll bounce ideas back and forth. He'll mock up some stuff on the computer and send it. We painted the entire outside of the building at Girard.
Yeah.
And it's just that trolley it's iconic. They used to call it the pickle. If you're a fair amounter, you know what the pickle is. It's a trolley. So because it's green with the cream and the red, it's a really cool looking vehicle. So I was like, why don't we just go with that color palette? And he was like, yeah, that's perfect. So he mocked up, what we were going to do. And it was funny when we were picking out the colors. We had to. The painter was like, I need the colors like Tuesday, and I was down the shore, and so I went to the paint store in outside of Cape May, and just from memory, I looked up I'm like, yeah, it's that color green, the cream, like Jersey cream. All right, that's the yellow, and I think Aruga looks like the right green, and we just went with it. And it's funny, there's a chiropractor across the street. When I was up on the ladder a couple weeks ago, he said, "Hey, I'm the chiropractor from Brewery Town Chiropractor. I have a question. I was looking out my office window, and the trolley came by, and it hit me. Oh, that's like the same. So my question is,
nailed it.
I'm like, what's that? And he's like, was this the plan? I said, yes. It was our inspiration, like to try to match. It's perfect from my window. Like the colors are exact. So I was like, yeah, we got it.
That's
So that's and Jimmy always has a big part to play in all our designs. Not just the cans, of course, but like whenever we open a new place, we lean on him heavily for sure. We just assume, he's got a designing kind of something, right? So,
yeah. So like you had talked about like how you ran into Ken when he was like trying to open and when you were trying to open, and then it was Andrew was kind of like the stars aligned, and then Jimmy now like kind of the imagery that you guys are doing with everything kind of aligned, and he just kind of.
Yeah, I'm always playing with Jimmy over dogs. Jimmy wants to put a dog on every label.
You don't like the dog?
I'm like, all right, look, I feel like, our logo, because it's funny. We hired this Flemish woman to do our logo. She was great. And we
Which one? The circle one, the HR?
Yeah, it's on the cans.
Yeah.
You can see here. So we, like, the three of us just fought over that logo for like 2 months before we finally agreed, yeah, this is it. And then now it's like the dog is everywhere and you don't see that logo anymore. And I'm like, I love the logo. I don't want the dog on everything. The dog is, Hallertau Pills. That's that dog. And it is our flagship beer, or one of them at least.
Yeah.
But, I feel like sometimes the dog gets a little too overplayed.
It's funny.
So I'm always pushing for the logo and or the script. I love our script logo as well.
What's your go-to beer? You said you brought the Baltic Porter, and is that your favorite?
That's one of my favorites. My go-to beer, I mean, it would have to be one that we have on all the time. So I probably drink our Polo Tomave the most, which we always had on, which was a happy accident with Andrew and I. That was like one of our... I'd say that was our fourth brew.
What do you mean? You guys just like overdid it or underdid it?
No, we underdid it. Andrew and I looked at the recipe and I said, do we need more of this? And he's like, nah, this system pulls color. And I was like, oh,
it was 8 kilograms to pounds thing? Or you just...
Yeah, and no, it was just, should we put another half bag or bag of this in it? And when it came through the sight glass at Knockout, I was looking at it, and we barely knew each other, and he was basically working for me, and so he comes over and he goes, yeah, maybe we needed another bag of that, huh? And I was like, that's okay. We have polo tamave. And he was like, is that that's a thing, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's, half dark and check. I'm like, let's firm it out, see what we get. And I loved it. And of course, then we started tweaking that. And so we were brewing a tamave. That was supposed to be, because we had Check 10, we had Hellert's out, we had 2 hazies.
Yeah.
And that was probably our fifth beer that we were brewing. And when that came out on the light side, I said, okay, polo tamave. And we loved it so much that we didn't brew a tamave until 2.5 years later, even though that was what we were trying to brew that day.
It kind of worked out that way.
And that was the original milk tube, is the polo tamave.
And Jake said that you were the first one that was doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that's kind of a funny thing, that whole situation, because we got the Stanja glass for drinking Kolsch in. And back then we had the soda gun. We had Diet Right on the soda gun, and I would just be cranking the Diet Right in those little glasses, and I would have a milk pour of a polo tamave like during lunch. And one day I was like, oh, what if I, try to do a milk pour in the Stanja, because we had just gotten those in, and it was a pain to do, And I was like, and he's like, what are you doing now, I was like, oh, little baby milk pours. So then it was funny that night, and that was a Monday. I can't remember if it was the week before, but anyhow, it was a Monday night, and I was watching Netflix by myself at home, and I got a phone call at like 9:15 from Jake. And I'm like, oh, he never calls this late. Something's wrong.
What's wrong?
I'm like, hello. He's like, yo. I'm like, where are you? Oh, I'm at the brewery. I'm like, I could tell. It's like, yo, your stupid milk pours that you're drinking in the Stanja? I got an idea. Milk tubes. And I'm like, hit pause. What's that? He's like, milk tubes. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, cool. He goes, all right, putting them on the menu. I'm like, okay. And I go back to watching. The next morning I come in, and he goes, I got something new. What's up? What's today? And I'm like running through the Rolodex in my head. I'm like, I don't know, is it Arbor Day, Flag? I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what. He goes, no, what day of the week? I go, oh, Tuesday? He goes, not anymore. It's Tubes Day. We're going to do $2 tubes. And so he was the guy who put it into play, and then it went bananas.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, that's where you guys kind of went nuclear. It was like you guys were like a great new brewery,
yeah.
And when the milk tubes came out, it's just like you guys immediately got this national attention from that.
Yeah, and then people started doing them everywhere, even if they didn't have a Lucre faucet, they'd be trying to.
Yeah.
And we would have to be like, hey, so we actually owned the term milk tubes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Tubes Day, I believe. But we would just try to be cool about it and say, hey, if you guys are going to do them, any shot you could just mention us in your, Insta, or, don't call them milk tubes, anything like that. So, and then there were all these people, this backlash that was also kind of funny. I remember I was on a Reddit thread, and it was human robot, because my buddy sent me, yo, you guys are on this Reddit.
The Reddit people are crazy.
They really are.
They're nuts.
One guy was like, remind me never to go there on a Tuesday. I'm like, we don't put you in a headlock and say, you will do a milk tube. We were just like, hey, if you'd like to do one, they're $1 cheaper on Tuesday. Yeah. So, the milk tube thing, it's funny. It's obviously people still come in and rip tubes. And whenever somebody's from out of town and they're in town, I always say, oh, let's do a milk tube together. It's, died down considerably from the hype that it used to be. But, come Oktoberfest, we'll have our milk tube relay race again.
I saw that. I just got announced. That's fun.
It's always super fun. Yeah, that people go crazy for it, and it's a good time.
Nice. So now that you have the 2 tap rooms open, it's are you just in this state of finally have some time to chill?
Yeah, I went down the shore right medium. I was like, I'm going down the shore.
I'll be back at some point.
So, but there's been some upkeep. Well, of course, I went down the shore. We got broken into twice in 3 days.
Really?
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Oh man.
Yeah. So hopefully we've got that all squared away. and that doesn't continue.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they didn't really damage much. They mostly just took beer. So
Like cans out of the fridge.
yeah.
No way.
They looked through the register, but they didn't really mess with anything else. They didn't mess with the iPads. I guess they realized you can't really use the iPads.
I was at I used to be head brewer at Philadelphia Brewing.
Yeah.
And I came in New Year's Day to like finish up a beer, and there was somebody that had broken in. They didn't steal any cash. They stole beer, but they were still there.
Oh, really?
And I had chased them down the street, and the cops came, and he came back. It was insane. But yeah, hopefully you guys don't have to deal with that. Is that like, I guess opening up each spot, there's like, I'm not that you guys are doing people breaking in all the time, but like there's probably like little things in each spot, like, hey, this is how you close and like make it set up.
We obviously, having the 3-4 places that we've had, we have standard operating procedures across the board.
Do you guys have a playbook now? Like you guys have what, 6 spots now, 5 spots?
Yeah. Every night we just ask the bartenders to give us a rundown on how the night, just paint us a little picture of what would happen that day.
Yeah.
Any, emergencies that happen, obviously you call us immediately. But so every night we get an email from each person who closed saying what happened, what beer they need replenished, because we have run beer in the morning. And so as long as everything and what broke, that's what I pay attention to. So I'm like, I guess got to go fix that or go to Home Depot. The Home Depots in this area must just think that I have my own contracting business. Fairmount Hardware probably thinks so too.
You're like a plumber.
But so basically that's so we have an idea, a snapshot of what we did that night, and then of course we get our sales results for the day too. So it's nice to be able to put that together, and you always have an idea of what's going on.
Nice.
Because we're at 5th Street every day, just about.
Is that's just the headquarters?
Yeah, Jake and I are there every day. And it was weird not going, because when we were getting Gerard open, I wasn't there for like almost 3 weeks. It was so strange not being there every day. But we run back, and today I was at Gerard 5th and South Philly, and Jake was up in Jake today was hanging sound panels in New Hope. So
every day's a new day.
It's bouncy in there when a bunch of people get in there. The echo.
Are people buying the trading cards? Like, is that people are treating like a?
Yeah, we've had some, like, there's a new thing there. It's going to be, I think, once a week or once a month, like a little trade thing. I'm not into that, so I don't know what the terminology is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, every day, because it's a separate transaction, so I see the results, and people are buying cards every day. So
It's baseball cards as well, too. Like, it's mostly baseball cards. Right?
Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff in there.
I know Pokemon cards are so hot.
Yeah, there's Pokemon cards.
Are there Pokemon cards? Okay.
Yeah, there's
curious.
Garbage Pail.
What is Garbage Pail? You said that before.
I think there's Garbage Pail kid trading cards, right?
Yeah. They were, oh gosh, what was it? It's like a spoof. They're like spoof cards off of, was it Cabbage Patch?
Cabbage Patch Kids, I think.
Yeah. And they're just spoof like brands. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but they're all kind of like withered and like goofy. Like there's a lot of comedy to it.
Got it.
You're fun. I used to have those as kids as well.
That's definitely Google that.
Yeah. Yes.
That and the Furnace Party.
Yeah. Oh, you have to Google the Furnace Party. It was kind of funny. Was it last summer, I guess? When the soccer clubs come and play at the link, we went to Arsenal Liverpool, and myself, I'm a massive Arsenal supporter, and so we had a big thing over at XPN's facility, and a guy, did a thing for people who aren't from Philadelphia. And he had the guy who used to eat the chicken every day.
The roast chicken guy.
Yeah. And then they had Philly Elmo. And then he had the Furnace Party. And it was funny because it was, just telling people about the Furnace Party. And everybody is sitting there like, what the hell? And both my wife and I are like, we were there. Like, we were the only people there in the 12 1,200 people that were in the place that like were actually at the first
That's funny.
party. But yeah, definitely Google that because it's bananas.
Yeah. So log jamming,
I'm log jamming.
the biggest, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Is the biggest craft beer fest in the city right now? Probably. Definitely in the city.
Yeah, we had 102 brewers, I think, this year.
Yeah. Did you have any experience doing that? Like, who kind of like leads that charge? Just everybody?
The first log jamming was in a parking lot.
Yeah, right behind that food
Street.
spot, right, on American Street.
Yeah, and like the people that owned that place were mad because we drove stakes into the ground to hold the tents. So I had to go there like the week after that with 2 bags of Home Depot blacktop and like fill in the holes. And it was like 1,000 degrees out, and I'm like tapping things that like we got to figure something else out for this.
Yeah.
So Cherry Street Pier came into play, and so it's been a success there for sure. It has its challenges. It's not cheap to rent the Cherry Street Pier.
Definitely.
So
Yeah, and then once you have success, they're like, oh, well, you can do this here. So
yeah, it's a lot of work, and we don't make a dime off it. All that money goes to the Michael Jackson Foundation.
Yeah. Is there one of you guys that leads it, or it's all hands on deck? I mean,
it's all hands on deck. Ken's always good for stuff like that because he has
knows
catering.
everybody.
He has and he has catering experience. He
Yeah.
used to have a catering company. My team, the Brewers, work their asses off leading up to that and the day of. So we load in and we break everything down. So those guys, Andrew, Caleb, Dylan, they just work their asses off for that. And Oktoberfest, which is coming up in September.
I think the Oktoberfest, it just gets overlooked because, well, Jamie's so big.
Yeah, for sure. And Oktoberfest is a cool premise. We do USA versus the world. We plug in all these stellar German beers and Oktoberfests. And then, we get a bunch of our friends. We try to keep that local-ish, but, we get the Schilling guys send us beer because we're good friends with them.
Yeah.
The Seed, of course. They're like our sister brewery.
Yeah.
They always come down for that. And then, Bond Place usually participates. And, we try to get like some local guys to do that. CMP used to do it.
Is he still going to be at the same spot?
Yeah, it'll still be right across from the brewery on Germantown Ave this year. We're looking at maybe next year doing something at the Oval by the Art Museum.
Nice.
We'll see what happens with that. Because, it's not super easy dealing with the city for anything. So
No, but that's a nice spot. I think, who is it? The Putt. What's the Putt?
Oh, Liberty Grounds.
Liberty
the
Grounds.
guys from Liberty Grounds. I think they do the beer garden there.
Yeah, like every summer.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about doing something like that? I mean, you guys have the taprooms, but because you guys only sell like over the bar, like do you guys ever pop up stuff like that?
Well, we did do one. We had an Oktoberfest like beer garden in that same spot. For a while. I think that lasted for like 3 months.
Wait, in the Oval?
No, in the
the sunk down area.
Where we had the original log jamming.
Okay.
At the caterers.
Yeah.
We did something there for a while. And that was good. We looked into doing on Frankfurt Ave. It's just one of those things where we're just stretched so thin now that we can't do.
Yeah, you said before, it's a good problem to have, like you're trying to spread beer out everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just can't do it, So we're maxed out on our licenses right now and maxed out on beer. So we do the Jenkintown farmers market in the square over the summer. They usually do it like once a week, so we're there for that. But other than that, I've always wanted to do the Fairmount farmers market, but there's already Huga sells beer there, so I don't want to
step on their toes.
Yeah, and I mean they're right down the street, so
yeah.
Yep, that's always a tough thing when you're having to lug a bunch of stuff off site and get people to staff it and keep the beer cold. So it's not an easy gig, for sure.
Have you guys just been growing like the the taproom staff? Like, I mean, it's probably tripled in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
Is that all Ken?
I mean, the great thing about it is, so first of all, our staff, we have a lot of our staff that was pre-COVID even.
Yeah.
We've had so little turnover.
Yeah, like when I walk into your tap room, like I recognize everybody. Where it's not normally that you go into a brewery and like I know all the bartenders here.
Yeah, we've had very little turnover over the years, which I appreciate. I certainly appreciate that. Our staff is great. Everybody, what I love about it is nobody rolls their eyes when we demand that every beer be poured as perfectly as possible.
Yeah.
We do constant training. You know, we had the guys from Lucre, Pilsen, they came over. We did perfect pours. We constantly do Lucre training. We have specific glassware that we're always adamant about. And sometimes it's probably over the top, but it's how we want it.
But you have to force that, otherwise it'll drip off.
And everybody's really receptive to it. And you know, you would think that some of the staff would, like I said, roll their eyes and be like, yeah, whatever, buddy. But when I pop in and I look at beers across the bar and they don't know whether we're coming or whatever, every single beer looks the same. So everybody, and they take pride in it. They really do. And that's something that gives me joy, just because I think they see the value in pouring a proper beer in the style glass that it deserves, to give the client the best sensory experience for that beer. Yeah. So everybody gets behind it. You know, when we had the staff from Carbon Punishment that we were going to keep on, we had them in there. They were practicing their pours at 5th Street. You know, we gave them a whole Lucre training day. And then we got the tap set up. We had them come in and practice. So,
and you have the Lucre taps in Gerard and New Hope also?
Everywhere. Yeah, cool. That's a non-negotiable. We would not sell Czech 10, Polo Tomave, or Tomave on a tap that isn't a Lucre tap. It has to. You know, when people want us to bring it to festivals, I'm like, then we got to bring the Lucre. And the thing is, you can't really take the Lucre.
Yeah, how do you do that? Do you have a jockey box with a Lucre on it?
We do. That's the portable milk tube thing, because you know they would invite, like, I put my underwear in that thing one time and used it as a carry-on. My socks and underwear were in the little.
What is it?
We have a little. It's like the size of a Playmate.
Yeah.
And with coils in it.
Okay.
It's a single jockey box.
Okay, yeah.
So I had to take that through. So I'm like, I got my socks and underwear and a T-shirt all wrapped up in there and jammed in there, and the Lucre tap sitting inside there. Like, what is this? I'm like, it's a beer tap. Because I was going to, I think that time I was either going to Tripping Animals in Florida, or I was going to the Heist in North Carolina. But anyway, they really wanted us to do milk tube pours. So I'm like, all right, well, we got to do them like this. But we don't generally take that. We don't recommend that people bring them.
Well, it's not the perfect situation, like the whole thing.
Because to properly pour it, you have to have the tap in the glass.
Yeah.
And if you're at an event where these glasses are not sanitized in between drinking, you can't really.
It's going to kill it anyway.
Plus you're spreading germs between people.
Definitely.
So they don't work at, you know, events like that. Where we've gone to Stitch Fosses, we have German Stitch Fosses, have a similar situation. It's just gravity poured. So we take those, but we don't put that in the glass just because it's unhygienic.
Got it.
Yeah.
So do you have a beer that you guys take to festival? Is it like the festival beer?
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants Hallertau, so we take that a lot. My favorite beer to take to festivals is our Croydon Tomave. I just think that beer shines when we Croydon it and we put it in that. Magic happens. It's live. I've taken that so many places and people have come and said, listen, this is the best beer at the event. It's fantastic. And I'm always so proud to have that with us. But we almost always, everywhere we go, people want us to bring Hallertau. That's our big seller for.
That's your baby.
Yeah, that's Andrew's baby, and you know, Czech 10. He loves Czech 10, and he's obsessed with perfecting Czech 10 and Hallertau. So it's, I mean, really, he's obsessed with perfecting every beer, but he loves doing that. And I love, we do a lot of, you wouldn't think of crazy lager styles, right? But we do things that like a lot of places don't do, that we've gleaned from 1890s German text, where we're literally holding Google Translate over our phone, trying to figure out what it meant. From like throwing hops in with the decoction and Andrew's crazy Helles mash. It's insane.
The hops in the mash, it's like a new thing that I've heard people start doing the last couple of years, but like apparently like why you would think that would get any of the aromas through, but apparently like it just like it creates like this weird situation that like, you get a lot more of the flavor of the hops.
You're pulling a lot of, of the acids. Obviously you're getting a lot of bittering out of that.
Yeah.
And that was something that we gleaned from, I think it was the 1905. Roasting the hops. And we were like, what does that mean? And it really just meant pulling the decoction with hops.
Cool.
Because we decoct every beer.
Yeah.
Except for our IPAs, but every single beer is at least single decocted. And I mean, a lot of places don't do that or just simply don't have the capability. And a lot of people think it's not necessary with today's, modified malts, but
yeah, but you guys are into everything. You guys have, amazing lagers, probably best lagers in the city, and it's like
so it's working for us. So we just keep basically,
Do you have stuff that you're trying to do soon? Or are there beers that you're looking for? Or
well, it's Tin Hoagie season, isn't it? Which is my least favorite beer that we make, actually. Every year I push for cans only of Tin Hoagie. I hate when I see people drinking Tin Hoagie over the bar when they could be drinking Czech 10 or Hellertau.
Like the Tin Hoagie, the joke about it is that it's in the can.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I'm like, why don't we just make it for it? So last year we only broke off like a couple of halves, and I think we're going to do that again. Just because that's a beer that deserves the can that we made for it. And the hoagie.
It's amazing can. It's so funny.
It's great when I hand somebody that for the first time. Like I always see them as they're talking to me, and they're like fiddling with the can because they think they got to unwrap it.
Like too realistic.
It came out great. That was Jimmy made that perfectly. That wrapper, and that's a reference to Jake Solder, brother.
Yeah, it was like talking about Coors Lights or something.
Yeah, be like, grab me a Tin Hoagie. So a little ode to him, who I just actually met at New Hope last week.
Nice.
So never met him before. So that'll be coming out. We always do that. That's the Eagles season beer.
Yeah.
So we always try to get that out before the Eagles opener. So
it's tailgate beer.
Yeah. So that'll get packaged this week.
Yeah, we just had Hannah from Love City on because Jason Kelsey's always drinking Love City beer, but then he's also always drinking Human Robot beer. Like, this guy owns a brewery.
Yeah.
He's always drinking other people's beer.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, that guy's been great for us too. He wore our Human Robot hat on CNN and on his podcast and on that.
That was so cool.
Yeah, I was getting texts left and right. Dude, you got to see CNN right now. Kelsey has your hat on. But his studio that he had a little office, I think, over right by us.
Got it.
So we would sneak in, and we just told everybody, don't text your friends, don't tell anybody, just let the guy be.
Yeah.
Let him enjoy. Because I have a place in Sea Isle, and I see how he's just.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. He's like...
every time he walks out, his poor,
I don't know how he does it. Like, he's like trying to live like a normal life, but like, I get why celebrities like try to remove themselves because like everywhere he goes, it's like he can't do anything.
He really is just a regular dude. He's a great guy to talk to. And it's, and I think that's part of it. People like see him and they're like, oh my God. And then they talk to him for a second and they think, oh, he's just a regular guy. I can talk to him forever, but they don't realize like, give the guy some space.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, and they bought a place right in the heart of Sea Isle, right, by all the spots.
I think he likes the love. He likes the love.
Yeah, he does.
Just too much.
And I would have been like, I'll be down Townsend's Inlet.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's going to bother me as much,
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you for coming in. It was nice to get to know you, learn a little bit about you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Cool. So I guess you're headed off to McGlinchey's after this?
I am going to McGlinchey's.
See her
excited. Get a London Pride.
Yeah. Hopefully someone buys that soon. I would hate to see that. kind
smooth.
of go away.
Yeah, I think some people are already
That's
angry
good.
for it. So the only thing is they're going to lose the smoking aspect.
I know. I mean,
That's the thing. Like, you're wondering if one of those places, it needs the smoke to keep it going.
yeah.
I worry about it.
I wonder what the fine is now. Is there like a fine that you can just be like pay like like we're just gonna pay like?
I think
like,
they shut you down. I don't even know if.
oh really? They're like that.
But that
grandfathered
place,
in?
oh my God. Just that place had a famous painting in it, a guy setting duck decoys out. They tried to get it redone years ago, and it came out, it was a disaster. But I didn't even know that thing was there until I was there like at noon on a Saturday once.
Because it was so smoky.
Because it was so smoky that you couldn't even see the other side of the bar. And you couldn't see that wall. So it was just so smoky in there back in those days. That
It is like when I talk to kids my age now, or like kids younger than me, that like aren't in the brewing industry or kind of like know the history of that bar. They always talk like, oh, that's the bar you can smoke cigs at.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah, I mean back then you could smoke at all the
Yeah.
spots, but it was always such a great. They always had a great jukebox. They had good beers that were cheap.
yeah, all the bar people we have on, like who was it? William Reed.
Yeah.
Tom Peters.
Yeah.
Even like I've heard like Casey Parker talk about like everybody like started off at McGlinchey's.
Yeah, well, that's where I met Fergie for the first time. That was his first gig in Philly. He was a bartender there, and that place was. I mean, you got a big mug of porter for 90 cents. Being on porter, it was great. And Guinness was like $1.25, and you're like, whoa, I'll stick with the porter. Could afford the $1.25.
And pinch and pays. That's fun.
But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I really
Yeah, of
appreciate
course.
Yeah, thanks for making the time for it, especially given the notice.
Yeah. All right, and then follow us on YouTube, Spotify.
5 stars, engage with content, support.
That's it. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.